Hey guys, it's Sagar from TechWorks. You guys have been loving the Redmi Note 5 Pro coverage on the channel. And to keep things rolling, I'm going to share with you guys 20 plus tips and tricks for your new Redmi Note 5 Pro. But before we get to that, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up. Starting with the first tip. If you don't want to reach for the power button every time you want to just glance at the time or check in on notifications, you can just double tap the display to wake it up. This feature is not on by default, so to turn this on, go to Settings, Display Settings, and turn on the option that says double tap to wake. Next up, we have Face Unlock. This is not the fastest or most secure way to unlock your phone, but it is so cool to just look at your phone and have it unlocked. To set Face Unlock, go to Settings, Lock Screen and Password, and tap on Add Face Data. You can then let the camera scan your face, and just like that, you can now unlock your phone with your face. As you unlock the phone, you are greeted with this big tall 5.99-inch display. Since it's a taller display, it can be a bit difficult for some to reach the top for pulling down the quick settings menu or checking in on notifications. With the Redmi Note 5 Pro, you can just swipe down anywhere on the home screen and the notifications panel just drops down, making navigation on this big display a bit easier. This is definitely a two-handed device, but it also has a one-handed mode if you ever need to use it. Go to Settings, Additional Settings, and then one-handed mode. Once turned on, tap and swipe the home button to either side, and the display shrinks to a size which is much more manageable with one hand. You can move the smaller screen to either side and just tap outside this space whenever you want to get out of this mode. If you want to use up every bit of screen real estate on the Note 5 Pro, you can do that by hiding the navigation buttons. To do this, go to Settings, scroll down to Additional Settings, click on the button and gesture shortcuts, and select the toggle which says Hide Soft Buttons. And just like that, the navigation buttons are now hidden. Swipe up from the bottom of the display if you want to bring them back, and after a few seconds, these buttons will hide again. While you are in the button and gesture controls menu, you can even swap the position of the recent and back buttons. From this menu, you can even assign secondary functions to the navigation, power, and volume buttons so they perform various actions when you double press or long press them. For example, I have the power button set to open the camera app when I double press it. To take a screenshot, I can just slide 3 fingers down on the screen, or long press the home button to turn off the display, and so on. You can assign these functions to any buttons of your choice. Since the shift from 16:9 displays to 18:9 displays happened a lot faster than expected, many of the apps are still not optimized to utilize the complete display on these newer devices. There are black bars at the top and bottom of the apps which are not yet optimized. With this setting in the button and gesture shortcuts menu, you can force these apps to utilize the full screen mode and get the most out of all the pixels on your screen. In the past few months, I've started using the split screen mode a lot more on all of my Android devices. I like to watch or listen to YouTube videos while scrolling through my Twitter feed. To use the split screen mode, just hit the Recent Apps button and you will see the split screen mode on the top left of your screen. Tap on that and drag any of the open windows to the top of the screen, and then select the second app that you want to use simultaneously. You can even resize any of these windows according to your liking. If you want to return to your last open app or switch between 2 recent open apps, instead of pressing Recent App button and then selecting the previous app, you can just double tap on the Recent Apps button, and just like that, you jump into the last open app. This comes in very handy if you need to switch between 2 apps very often. While we are in the app switcher, you might have noticed the available RAM being shown at the bottom of my device. This is not on by default. If you want to turn this on, tap and hold anywhere on the screen for a couple of seconds where there are no icons to bring up these options. Now go to the Settings option, select More, and there you have the option to show memory status. Turn it on. And now you can see the amount of RAM which is available for you. I like to organize my apps in a certain way, where games are on one page, social media, camera, and wallpaper apps on another, and so on. Moving one app at a time from one page to another can take a long time. On the Redmi Note 5 Pro, you can move multiple apps at the same time. Just pinch with 2 fingers like this on any of the screens and select all the apps that you want to move to another page. Once you have selected the apps, Just tap on one of them and all of the apps are now ready to be moved at the same time. Now let's take a look at some of the tips and features for the camera. As shown above, I just have to press the power button twice to open the camera app even if the phone is locked. While taking selfies, it might not always be possible to reach for the shutter button, or if you try to use the volume buttons as shutter, you might end up with blurry images. Easiest way is to use the fingerprint sensor as a shutter button. While in the camera app, tap on these three bars at the top right, then go to settings, swipe down and turn on the fingerprint shutter option. And you can now start taking selfies just by tapping on the fingerprint sensor. To take portrait mode images via the rear camera, you have to swipe to the left and enter the portrait mode. But if you want to take portrait selfies, you can't just swipe to the left, you have to select this option at the top of the screen. It would have been nice to have a consistent way to get to the portrait mode while shooting with the rear and front camera. If there is a particular mode in which you like to use the camera more often, for example, I shoot a lot of videos with my phones, so I would prefer if the camera opens straight in the video mode as I tap on the camera app. You can do that again by tapping these three lines on the top right and then going to the settings and turn on the option that says Save Previous Mode. Now the camera app will always open in the mode that you last left it in. It's a small thing, but it can come in very handy if you use a particular camera mode more often. You get manual modes for shooting images, but you can only adjust the settings for white balance and ISO. If you want to have a much better control over the images that you take, you should use a third-party camera app like Camera FV5. With this app, you can adjust everything from focus, white balance, ISO, shutter speed and exposure manually. This app will also let you take long exposure photos if you want to create some amazing light trails. Similarly, the native camera app on the Redmi Note 5 Pro doesn't allow you to shoot 4K videos as of now. You can download another third-party application like Open Camera, which will let you shoot videos in 4K resolution and also at a higher bitrate. By default, the battery indicator is set to just graphical, but I like receiving more precise information about the battery that is remaining on my smartphone. So to get the battery percentage indicator at the top, go to settings, scroll down to notification and status bar, and there you have the option to choose your battery indicator. You can even have the battery bar at the top of the screen if you want. It's nice to have these options built into the operating system of your phone. In the same notifications and status bar menu, you have these various options so you can show and hide the carrier name or even edit the carrier name if you want. I also like to have this option to show connection speed turned on. This shows me the speed of my network right on the status bar. If you are using a dual SIM smartphone, you might want to use services like WhatsApp on both your numbers. You can do that very easily by creating dual apps. Go to settings and scroll down to dual apps. Here you can select any of the installed apps, and just like that, it creates a new parallel app for you, and you can now use it with a different account. Fingerprint sensor and face unlock are good ways to secure your phone. But sometimes, you might also want to lock certain applications to get an added layer of security for maybe your gallery or social media accounts. Redmi Note 5 Pro makes this very simple. Just swipe down to the app lock at the bottom of the settings page. Create or enter your password and select the apps that you want to add a lock on. So the next time you or someone else tries to get into your gallery app, they will have to authenticate with their fingerprint or put in a pattern or a passcode in order to gain access to your personal images and videos. MIUI 9 has a built-in call recorder. If you want to record all calls automatically, just go to the dialer, hit the three bars that are on the left of the call button and go to settings. From there you can go to call recording and set all calls to be recorded automatically. If you only wish to record calls from a certain number, just use the selected number option at the bottom and then add that number to the custom list. Some of these tips and features are not specific to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So try these on your phone and you might be able to unlock a feature or two that you were not using before. If you know about any other tips and features that I missed to include in this video, let me know in the comment section and I will make sure to include them in the description of this video. That is it for this video, guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.